Hey guys, my name is Juro Boy here. Now, this is gonna be a little different I know it's technically not a playthrough, but this is actually gonna be a different type of thing I wanna do.
First of all,
and if you notice by the thumbnail, it's really hard to so I'm gonna name out which one
so you
known as Verlisify and slogan or hashtag SML. So I'm just gonna see, which is kind of ironic because I actually did grow up watching this content, which is kind of ironic still. But remember, over the years, I've been growing up a bit more. So throughout the days, I've been doing a lot of things. The main reason why I do this video is because of Verlisify, because of evidence of Verlisify's toxicity from both communities.
like the rain.
Now, this is the Verlisify. Didn't want to say it. Verlisify is a YouTuber that does Pokemon content and he does Pokemon content. But the more reason why I'm going after him is because of how many times their toxicity actually affects the community. Here for this video is another YouTuber, which I actually don't know their name, which I don't know the name to. So, but they really do explain on why Verlisify is doing most of this stuff. Explain why would actually do this. So I'll just show you a clip.
Oh boy, this just got good. I'm having fun now because delicate children on Twitter are mad I called them out for their cheating. So I felt like something was happening because I suddenly got flooded with tons of hate comments, and yeah, it's a coordinated attack.
I don't know, it kinda seems a little, I don't want to say it's hypocritical, but you publicly put out people's dream codes and names, which isn't illegal, by all means. But that also enables people from your side to go and attack those people.
You know what? Out of all the things that you technically say, I'm going to have to agree with it because honestly, Verlisify, that is technically most. When you're doing stuff like that, you want to know that there's going to be consequences for your actions. If you think you're being hypocritical, thinking that, oh, I'm the victim and stuff, so it becomes more of a terrible move, and you're just guilt-tripping a bunch of people just to be on your side. So yeah, honestly, I do agree. And plus, I don't know much about playing Animal Crossing.
Victory is mine.
Don't know much about playing like Animal Crossing.
It's time to choose your character.
Horizon.
Let's go calmly.
Piece of cake.
But
how about choosing a stage?
Understand why.
There's even a day and night.
Yes, cheating is not okay, but I totally understand why you do this, why you're going after it, but for your action is super hypocritical.
So, cool person in the comment section tipped me off as to what's going on, so I looked on Twitter and saw that people are speaking really badly of your channel. Tried DM you, but I couldn't find an ad on Twitter. I don't have a Twitter. As you can see, this is why it's a complete cesspool, and you should check out this person. They're going in on your channel in a tweet. Here's their island. Cheating ruins the experience. So yeah, report them as well. Unfortunately, we don't get to report them because it looks like they got scared into submission. Oh, wrong camera angles. There we go. It's clear that that is where they had star trees. There's actually quite a few naked trees when you run around this island, which shows they removed the star trees and then they replaced them and re-uploaded their island. I think there's a, yeah, like that would obviously be a star tree placement and something.
So let me get this straight. Now that you're publicly bashing this Twitter person with their @ and everything, which again, that's not illegal, it was public anyway.
Now, honestly, if you really think about it, currently, but to be fair, Verlisify, this is not really the hackers or they're not the reason why the community is going down. The main reason why this community is going to fall apart and a lot of people are scared is because of you. You clearly attack these people who work so hard to make this stuff. And you're going to take it away, and yes, I do agree that
maximum output.
I do agree that cheating is not okay and is against YouTube's terms and services, but you're going to have to understand that that's going to affect your reputation more in the long run, or it's going to affect the community as a whole. But to be fair, you need to think about what you're doing exactly. You are technically the problem with this community, the Animal Crossing community. And this is just Animal Crossing community. That's the problem.
You will take it back over here.
And what you're saying right there is not really helping your case. I don't care what you think on your what the morality is or what the rules
stand back. Maximum output.
But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be really go on doing this stuff. But I'll explain more about it later.
Deception didn't work.
Oh, later. Why? So there is more to this than I'll show you more.
So let's get into what they have to say. Hey guys, I found out that this... So apparently we just have such derangement on Twitter that they're expecting me... I didn't even search my name up to look for people that are calling me out. But that's how they play it. That's how they expect. They have to obfuscate their attacks against other people. Making a video searching star trees on Twitter, went through to find their dream addresses to report them, and his fans are most likely doing the same, so I highly recommend deleting any tweet that contains those words. That's right, hide your cheating. Wow, look at that call to action. That's just insane. I reported it as bullying! You're so sensitive. How is it bullying?
I think they probably consider it to be bullying because you have a large platform, and because you have a large platform, you are sending out a witch hunt towards these people.
You know what? Honestly, I had to agree with her again, but and guess what? She is right. No matter Verlisify, it doesn't matter what you cheating, but guess what? You are doing a form of, it's not just bullying, you're also doing a form of harassment, which is not good on any circumstance, and it's not good to encourage your kids, or at least young demographics, to do something like that. And that's the problem with gold diggers, because they would actually do the exact same thing and use others as victims. That's the big problem with a lot of people. And yes, I do agree. Verlisify, you are the problem, because not only you're using vulnerable children, but you're also using vulnerable children to go on a witch hunt and attack other YouTubers who want to make good content for other people.
Character.
You're not helping the people by doing this. You're only
take you on. Right
you're just only making.
How about choosing a stage?
You're just only making things worse by
the atmosphere of the stage can change
by your actions, because
I'll kill you.
You can't be doing this stuff. And guess what? I do have to agree everything that you say, because not only that could get a ball spot on the Animal Crossing community, that's a ball spot right on you specifically. Yeah.
Disadvantage people because it's cheating. It's an illegal item. Done. So yeah, y'all reporting islands with fried trees and hacked items. Do you know how many duped or hacked items you're handling when you trade daily without even knowing? Well, that's also why we report. You just admitted to how much of a massive problem hacking is in this game. So if we can get more people like you out of the game, then it makes it more legitimate.
Verlisify, that is not a really good thing you should say to anyone. I don't care if cheating is against the rules. I don't care. But it sounds like you even admit that you don't like these people in the community and you prefer them to just go away. And guess what? It's no better than the Black Lives Matter situation. I don't care what you think, but you admit you just don't care. And I don't care you expose them for cheating, but that is not not good to say. And plus, since you admit it, it just makes you way more hypocritical. And I'm sorry if I accuse you or make you mad. But it doesn't matter. You clearly just attack these people and you know this kind of behavior is unacceptable. So, at some point, that's right, at some point, you have to admit that you're in the wrong. So, at this point, you have to understand that you're not in the right in all the situations. So, yeah. Hey, I got a KO. That's actually. But anyway, let's get back to this. Let's get back to the whole situation again.
Because a lot of them, they're taking down the islands, they're re-uploading them without the star fragments, they're going underground and making it like private DMs only with people they can trust, or they're just straight up getting reported. However, I found this one. So I've got almost 5k visitors to my island now. Really hate to say this, but I'm thinking of updating my dream address and removing the star trees. They add a lot to my island, but I don't know who's been reporting, and I'm really scared. Keep it, take them out, play it safe. Well, fortunately, it's still up. I mean, it's right there. The hacking's right there. Look how tryhard this person is. This is exactly who we need to take down. And then there's also just all kinds of idiocy.
You're not getting away!
What do you mean? Verlisify, that is not doing what you say, and plus, this person is trying to follow the rules and do what you say, and then you just come up and say stuff like these people should just go away. I'm sorry I can say this, but it just makes what you say just makes you even more hypocritical. Like the only type of idiocy in this whole community is you, because you're continually doing a witch hunt against thousands of fans, including vulnerable children. And I don't care what you think or your moral opinions, but at the end of the day, it's what you're saying is completely very, very immature.
Let me enjoy this a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Also, since we're taking this seriously, I'm going to go and put in the little extra notes, but it's a pretty picture. Tells a big story, huh? Oh, you can also zoom in if you need to. Damn. All right. And like I said, we get that little extra time save. So we just get reported and straight to bed. I like it. That's a day's work. The deeper I go down this rabbit hole, the more entertaining it gets, because there's a lot of cheaters. And they're crying that they're not allowed to cheat now, and they can't share their cheated island. And they're upset. It's kind of insane. But I mean, you can see these things like retweeting giveaways and all these hacked items and stuff. This guy, I want to post my dream address for you all to explore, but I'm scared my island might get reported for having hacked items like star trees. Cool, you have hacked items.
Verlisify, I don't get why are you coming and attacking other people, and plus, including Pokemon, you can just get rid of cheat fire, and plus, you do accuse others for doing the same thing, and I don't care what you think, and yes, I do agree, cheating is not okay, but at some point you've got to understand that the rules cannot make you happy, and at some point, and plus the communities are about having fun, not specifically all this stuff. So technically, I think the first time I'm gonna and what you did right there is completely hypocritical by reporting them for cheating. And I don't care if you say, oh, this cheating and rules are rules and you have to follow the rules. I don't care. And you did it in front of an audience, which it makes you even more hypocritical. And I'm sorry about that.
Nonsense. We just trade or get them from someone. We're not hacking the actual items or Nintendo Switch. Doesn't matter. It's no different than hacking, especially when you know the items are hacked and you're participating in hacked item giveaways. So I've already known there's been an insane amount of cheating and hacking in Animal Crossing, but it's really nice to see that legitimate players are getting something, and people have to change the work they put into cheating the game, so now everyone's on an even playing field when showing off their island. And remember, if you just like join another island and they're doing giveaways and you see star trees, like you don't have to do it just through the dream. If you join someone's dodo code, if you find a giveaway or something, you can still report them, and you can still get rid of it. Now Nintendo's taking it seriously.
Honestly, if you want my opinion, that is way more sad than you think about it. And honestly, if you got an item like that, item or a hack item, you can just get rid of it. Just like Pokemon, you can do the same thing. Look, I understand being Pokemon in competitive, but the problem is going and when you keep saying that, oh, you ain't better than a hacker doing it. If you don't know the innocent player, you're just, and Verlisify, you're attacking people who are not, who are innocent in these situations. And your case is not helping by, you accusing them for cheating for having a hacked item. And I get there's certain things about rules, but then again, if you cheat on the test and you give someone else the answer for $1 million, and it's the ones that get punished is more unfair than the person who originally cheat because simple. They don't understand anything else. That's the big problem, and that's what I'm about. And you're saying all this stuff makes you even more hypocritical. And guess what? Yes, Nintendo, I do agree Nintendo does have Nintendo does have every right to take down these islands, and they can enforce the rules if they want to. Nintendo does have every right, but that doesn't mean it's moral. It's completely moral. That's not the point. Okay, so let's go on with the Prick Knight. So, if you don't know who Prick Knight is a YouTuber who does some playthroughs of known stuff. The reason why I'm talking about it because then again, Verlisify have attacked Prick Knight, and his reasons are trans. But I'm going to go on Prick Knight's defense to actually really light him on fire. And all something about. So I'll show you a bit on Prick Knight so I can show you about him.
I actually reached out to the guy who it was, and I haven't seen this guy for many years, so it was quite difficult to get hold of him. Finally I did, and I got a thing for you. I'm going to put that on the screen so you can read that now. And obviously basically it's summing up that it was his Pokemon. He gave me the rights to use it, but in the end, I was the one who used the Pokemon, so that's my fault for using the Pokemon. But once again, I did not hack the Pokemon in, as Verlisify 100% claims. So a lot of the time, in my older videos, he could go through some of my older videos and do this. I don't really care. I used a lot of my fans' Pokemon back then, or friends' Pokemon. So that's really by the by. The main thing I see about Verlisify is if he had really any evidence on me at all, he'd be using something a lot better than that, not like scrounging at the bottom of the barrel for something that was 6 years ago or a year ago. He'd be able to find it very easily.
Now, honestly, I'm going to have to agree with Prick Knight on this situation. Now, and guess what? He admits he uses hacked Pokemon, and which is completely his fault. And guess what? I do watch his debunk episode, and you say that's a bunch of poop. So you take the immature way and actually attack him again instead of accepting that he admits he made a mistake. And it's not really his fault. And the guy even admits that the Pokemon is technically his fault. He gave him the Pokemon, but that doesn't mean he hacked his teams. And I don't care what you think. And Verlisify, if you want to accuse him for something, you have to give evidence at best instead of using rules at. You have to give out evidence at best. You can't use flimsy evidence for the end. Yes, I completely agree with Prick Knight on what he says. I think what you said is completely. I think what Verlisify did is completely unnecessary, and there's a lot of things you could go after him for. So I do think this is really. So yeah, Prick Knight is right in this situation, so I'll give him credit for that.
I went over to Verlisify's Twitter, and then I saw all this stuff that he was writing, and it was a disgrace. Like telling people to drink base liquids, telling people that the Keemstar even having a go at people with mental illness, like really scummy things like that, like that you wouldn't do, that are actually illegal to do. Like, these are really terrible actions. So I thought, well, I don't really want anything to do with this guy. Like, so be it. If I collaborate and talk to this guy, it's going to make me an accessory in his feelings, and I do not want to be a part of that at all.
Now, honestly, if you look at his posts and the current things to say, I'm kind of have to agree with Brick Knight on that part as well. Now, Verlisify, I don't know why you act so toxic on your Twitter posts, and you mock people with disabilities, which is even more ridiculous, which it makes you even more hypocritical than the whole Animal Crossing situation, even though this is both for the whole Animal Crossing situation, which is even more ridiculous, and it makes you even more hypocritical than you really should be. And so, yeah, you do need to understand that your type of behavior hard to drink, and technically you don't know what kind of dangerous bleach actually does inquire, and I don't understand your toxicity, and you're just that type of person who doesn't care about anyone else but themselves. I don't understand why you say such garbage to a lot of these people. Now, there's a lot of claims that people saying that Verlisify is banned on, so his Twitter account being suspended, and Twitter account being suspended. But I hate to agree, but I know since it's hard, but yes, I'm going to have to agree that Twitter did the right thing and suspend this toxic human being. I mean, I honestly had to agree with Brick Knight on his sentence, and I had to agree on Twitter for their decision they made.
So those sort of things are disgraceful, and there's no ever excuse for them. And especially a lot of your audience would be kids as well. So you needed to be mature and take the high ground. A lot of the time too, he's not very thankful for his subscribers as well. You really don't see him thanking his subscribers. He's more like, I put a video out there, you know, you guys are lucky for that. That's his kind of attitude. He's not thankful for his audience at all. Like, his audience is what made him there. Like, I'm thankful for all the people that, you know, raised me up and helped me get to where I am today. I'm very thankful for that, and I always will be. But he's not like that. He thinks that he's putting videos out there and that everything's owed to him. It's the other way around. We're owed to the viewers who watch our videos.
Now, Brick Knight, I actually honestly have to say, you actually do make a valid point. And yes, even if you're a YouTuber, you have to be mature. And plus, if you have a point guard, it's very immature for you to actually say such stuff like that. And yes, you could. And yes, I do agree he does use hack Pokemon, but there's no excuse to attack the YouTubers for this mess as well. Because what you're doing is a form of witch hunt, which that is actually not good. You're convincing younger audiences, and you even saying that you're the best. And the problem is, do you know what your sin is? Pride. That's why you think you're in the right all the time. Your pride is making you to attack other YouTubers thinking you're in the right. And that's even said. And plus, you have to be grateful for your consumers or your audiences. I mean, if I don't have a big audience, I don't have many subscribers, so I don't know how I don't have many subscribers, so I don't understand. But if I did, I'll be very grateful if I have at least 1,000 subscribers. When I have 1,000 subscribers and a bunch of subscribers. I'm not saying I'm that hypocritical, but I'm just saying you should be grateful for your audiences when you at least have them. If you don't, you're gonna lose everything. Everything. And your lack of attitude is so unacceptable. Your lack of attitude is so unacceptable. I don't see you having mercy on this part. Brick Knight is kind of right on what he said about you. So, let's get on. But wait, there's one more I want to talk about. But wait, there's one more we'll talk about.
So, since Verlisify had a good go at me hacking my Pokemon, I want to put out some evidence there as well. Since this has already been viewed in another video before, the Hoodlum's Crafty video, but I wanted to put this in here as well, just to back up what I already was saying. So, these are two screenshots from a Skype conversation. This is between Verlisify and someone else. I'm not sure who they are, and I don't have anything against this other person at all. Obviously, they were using Power Save, right? And Verlisify was, talking to this person like a convo. So that straight away rings a bell to me. Like, alarms are ringing for me. Why would Verlisify be talking to someone who does Power Save and that kind of thing? Like, he despises these people. Like that. This is his own words. He despises these people. Scum of the earth. The whole rigmarole there.
What on earth was that? Verlisify? That is the most unacceptable thing I heard in my entire life. Not only you are so immature to your audiences, but you remotely don't care about anything else. And I'm sorry I don't believe in your morals. Hey, you can call me that I'm a liar or whatever, but that is just the most unacceptable thing I ever heard. And you should know this. And I don't understand why Skype haven't even suspended or even banned you from their website for what you have done.
Choose your character.
But even then, it's still
From the League of Villains.
Me?
even then it's still unacceptable behavior.
Overhaul is the leader of the sheep.
It's still unacceptable behavior. I mean, Verlisify, I'll give you a deal. If you apologize to every YouTuber and for a lot of the stuff that you say, then I will delete this video. Actually, I won't delete this video, but I'll make another video and respect your name again and react to apologize, and I will respect you to the fullest. If you don't, then if you attack me again, if you attack me behind my back, I will know if you attack. I will keep an eye on you like a hawk. But don't worry, I will make sure. But then again, that's just Prignite. Okay, now for Verlisify, I don't understand. So I'm gonna say yes, both the 2-bit shows are. So yeah, both Prignite and that other girl, which I don't know her name, including with and Prignite, are right in this whole situation, and Twitter made the right decision and suspended your account. But I do agree on some of your videos, like the Johnny Canal story. I do agree that's against YouTube's copyright. I do fully agree with that. But everything else, you're narcissist. I totally am against your narcissist. So technically, that will be it for Verlisify. Now let's get on to the another big elephant in the room. So yeah, Super Mario Logan, or SML for short, are a bunch of dudes that actually made some puppet videos, and they actually became on the popular compared to the rest of them. And it's kind of ironic, since even though I actually used to grow up with their channel, which is kind of ironic, but I'll explain more about a lot of their stuff, but I'll explain more about is really their downfall. So around at least 2017 is technically getting fully ADA strict and demonetized. And even then, too known as Keemstar, Keemstar from Drama Alert, he actually explains some points and more a big reason why it's getting demonetized or ADA restricted. And I'll give you a good reason.
Animals has adult themes, and he puts nooses around the stuffed animals' necks, alright? So of course he's gonna get demonetized. And then he uploads a video saying, why? I don't understand how my videos are not family friendly. Well, because you're playing with stuffed animals, which is attracting a young demographic of kids to watch your content, and then you have adult themes. Wasn't there just a big scandal all over YouTube about how these channels channels were like making like cartoon type stuff that was inappropriate for kids, and YouTube was like getting rid of them and closing them down. He's lucky he still has a channel. I'm not coming to this kid's rescue, the Logan or whatever his name is. Like, I'm not going to defend him in any shape or form.
Now, honestly, I don't want to... It's hard for me to even think about this, but I honestly had to agree with Keemstar right here. The only thing I'm saying Keemstar got wrong is the fact that he complains that his videos aren't family-friendly. But besides that, he does have some good points. He has some good points. And even so, like it or not, if you're using like kid-friendly characters, you're going to attract young demographics. Like this. It doesn't matter what you say. But yes, I do agree Keemstar is right on this situation. So yeah, so for that I do agree with Keemstar. And there's technically more controversies been. There is that one time around December. There's an article that's saying that some kid almost do the thing over one video, which is Jeffy's tantrum, and which has happened in the UK, and some parents technically blame Logan for this. That's not very immature for the parent, but I'm going to say that it's going to do it. That's a much bigger problem than a puppet doing it. So I'm going to say YouTube kind of did overreact on their choice, but then again, that can go for anything else. But yes, I will fire. And yes, even though I would say Keemstar is right for the whole situation on like the situation on the news on the Sun-based news, I'm gonna say that is in the right on that part. But there is another segment which is some of you guys know known as Good Morning America. It's a segment, and no copyright infringement is taking place while making these videos, and I will skip a few parts since all they talk about is their situation, but let's talk about the situation. So I'll get to the explaining. So let's get to the explaining, to the more important stuff.
You've seen it too. We took a closer look at Jeffy, the puppet, on the popular YouTube channel Super Mario Logan.
35 million views, the N-word.
Racial stereotypes.
Oh no, not racial stereotypes. How horrible. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating with those type of jokes, but at the end of the day, who cares? At this point, I don't think that's something that the kids are going to complain about that stuff. If you kids are not, sorry about that. The kids are not the ones are gonna be complaining over this type of stuff. But I do understand, and yeah, and even say, quote, take a closer look. And plus, most of Jeffy things is more one time. And I don't care what you think, but you have to do some research on what you do. But you have to do research on what you do. So I'm going to count that more hypocritical on your part rather than his part. And so let's continue on with the rest of the video. So let's continue on with the rest of your segment, since I'm speaking way too much.
Stereotypes, cursing, misogyny, I mean, violence, it's got it all. This is not something parents would want their kids.
Tear you down.
Okay, some of your places actually do make sense, like that describes more on Jeffy. Now the cursing I do understand because he says it a lot and most of the times it's completely unnecessary. But misogyny. Since when? No, look, if you're unless Cody's mom or Brooklyn guy's ex-wife counts, but those are more fat shaming rather than misogynistic. Now the funnest part is that's where I'm starting to step in. Since when? The only time they got that severe is the Purge and the Secret Door. That's it. If you're talking about the slappings, those are cartoon violence. Well, if you're counting, if you're saying that gun violence counts in the category, so then I would understand. But you didn't really explain that much, so let's get on with the whole. So let's get down with the rest of the sentence.
Media calls Super Mario Logan your basic online nightmare for parents of young kids. Rated for ages 17 and up. These kids are all 13 and younger.
Now, Logan, this is your audience. I don't care what you say your videos are for mature audiences only, but at some point you got to be aware that something like this might happen. And plus, yeah, this is your audiences, and Jeffy technically proves that your audiences are mostly full of kids. I think this is something you should be more aware about. But yes, common sense is in fact being over dramatic on what they say. And what does the word means? Your basics. So can they say something like something basic like parents' worst nightmare for young kids instead of something that big or isn't something that ridiculous, but then again, a lot of these kids are way too young, so I know your situation is technically similar, but the things that the kids say are completely garbage. So I'll give you a few examples.
Suggested video. I watched it and it just kept reeling me in to watch more videos. It attracts kids because you wouldn't think of him as inappropriate because the way he looks, but when you actually watch him, he traps you in it.
Okay, first off, no one's trapped. No, he doesn't. Logan did not trap you. No one's forcing you to watch any of these videos. So this is another case where the kid is trying to take the blame off himself. But there is some point he say it attracts you. And yes, I agree. If you're, and that's the same part that Keemstar does say. If you're using family-friendly characters, you're going to attract kids. It's just that's a fact. It's not a moral. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I don't care what you think, but that's a fact. If you're using family-friendly characters, and if you're using these characters to do vulgar or inappropriate ways, it makes you hypocritical, and that is during the time where like Elsa and Spider-Man videos became so much of a problem. And I do understand why GMA would actually do this, but I actually don't know. So I have basically no reason to, but honestly, think about it. Yes, you're kind of right on what you say, but you got to be specific on what you say. You can't say, "Oh, because you don't think he's a bad person because the way he looks." Oh, that makes you way more hypocritical on your part.
Do you think YouTube does enough to block inappropriate content for kids?
Yeah.
No, I do not think so.
Why?
Whatever is getting the most views, they're like, oh, you should watch it.
You know what? I think she's right and wrong. You're half right and wrong at the same. You're right and wrong at the same time. Because sure, yeah, even though yes, that's technically what YouTube does. And now let's get, so I'll get to the part where you're right. Yes, YouTube does have sadistic videos which they get all the most views. Which what they do is a business method. Exactly, what they do is a business method. I'm sorry if I stuttered a bit, but when YouTube so the suggested videos are more is a business method, and if you understand why YouTube would actually do it, so yeah, technically YouTube. So basically, in the main app, so basically, and even YouTube Kids, which yeah, it is a thing during this time. Their system is not always that useful, so it can't be that much of a problem. And even though you can systems, and there are such like that is inappropriate for kids that actually does bypass the parental controls and get on YouTube for kids, and it's not, and that's not up to the parents. That's more on YouTube's part for not doing their jobs right. But YouTube is trying. But let's get to the part that you're wrong. But guess what? Even though I say that is a business method, but it doesn't mean it's YouTube's fault. YouTube is doing much as they can, and even during that time, most of Super Mario Logan's videos have mostly been age restricted and demonetized, and so they're basically during that time they're saying, yeah, look, we don't want kids watching this, so we age restrict it, and that's the whole point of age restriction, is to prevent kids from watching it. So typically, yeah, YouTube is basically doing their best, but all you're doing is just giving YouTube way more than they can chew. So yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, you're right and wrong in the situation.
Recommends popular videos based on what's being watched, which raises the question, do kids know what's good for them?
No. No!
Sam, your mom said she trusts you to know what's right and wrong in terms of what you're viewing. Do you think that's the right way to go?
Yeah, because like I don't watch like inappropriate videos.
I don't think it's a trust thing. I think it's sometimes the kids, like, you get drawn in and it's not their fault.
I hate that hedgehog!
Seriously?
Melt away.
I don't understand what you're trying to accomplish by saying that, but okay, for one, you cannot make that as an excuse. Now, there is a point I'm gonna say you are right in a situation, but at this point, no, you clearly choose to do it. But and guess what? I'm gonna say you are technically right in this situation, and then again, you are completely wrong. And I'm sorry that I had to say it. But the main problem is more on your part rather than. But then again, yes, there are kid-friendly videos out there, and even then, Logan has technically turned the blind eye to the not so bad. Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. My sister was actually talking to me, but in turn to the blind eye to the not so fact that so many his kids actually do watch his content is kinda hypocritical on his part. Very hypocritical on his part. So, on this part, I'm going to say you're half right and wrong, and I'll let you off the hook on that part.
Showed some of our interview to Common Sense Media.
Developmentally, kids aren't even primed at that age to have the wherewithal to shut off YouTube.
Cover yourself.
So you're telling me that the kids don't know what to do. And also, your common sense, not a... Look, if you're a doctor or universal scientist, I would understand, but you're not. But you're not. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that is just not true. Since the kids you're talking about is around 10 to 13, or you're going to 13 and younger. So, typical. And I'm 18 who've been through a lot, but look, maybe when they're 3, well, there are cases that kids are really ridiculous. But you're honestly saying that the kids don't know how to turn off, and I quote, an evil and dangerous video, which is SML? Honestly, think about it. If your kid is like that... Okay. Sorry, I was talking to my parents. Then parents should be watching that kid more often. And parents need to watch that kid more often. And for teachers, from my understanding, for certain, a lot of the elementary and middle schools are very strict on people on their phones to begin with. So, if there's one time that I to an SML video, that is typically the fault of the teacher not to enforce the rules in the first place. But wait, there's more.
The creator of Super Mario Logan told us he's lost revenue since YouTube started age restricting and demonetizing his videos. He also said Common Sense Media's review was accurate regarding those old videos and that his newer ones are much cleaner in content and made for a wider audience, but adds it's ultimately the responsibility of the supervising adults.
Yeah, those cleaner videos. He goes, until he eventually stopped. Well, until he eventually stopped and he went eventually go back to his old ways, because why not? Why not? Why not? But then again, I just don't care at this point. And Logan, you need to listen to this. Yes, I do agree. It is the responsibility from the supervising adult. I say supervising adult because that's the big problem. There aren't that many adults who are actually going to take care of their kids. And most times it would be divorced parents. But the most biggest problem on the YTV, including Common Sense Media, it's more on how parents are not monitoring their kids. Well, that's it mostly. Everything else is just satire. Everything else is just satire. Everything else is just satire. But wait, there's more. Nintendo actually sends a cease and desist letter, and this is recent. I actually figured out it recently, so please following up the whole thing. So I'm going to read it while I go through this. So this is what the letter said. Unauthorized use of Nintendo's own property. Dear Mr. Reader, we return to Nintendo of America Incorporated. Reviews for your unauthorized use of Nintendo's product. On your furry and offensive content of your unauthorized use of Nintendo's character. For children that are drawn by your content. For your unauthorized uses of Nintendo characters. Although you prefer your content as 100% family friendly, your target and attempt to go on phrases and protect the classes of people not created and limited to the Asian community, the Black community, the Hispanic community, the LGBTQ+ community, mentally and disabled children and women. Your content meant. So I'm not gonna explain much, but I'll explain the second part later. But what basically say when Nintendo's saying that they're using offensive stuff, their intellectual property to make offensive content for their multiple YouTube channels. And then yes, Good Morning America did cover that. I do understand why would they do this, but at some point they are going to wire with that. So I'll go further on the letter. It says I could explain more, but it's basically say that he's been using stereotype characters to do some stuff, and if you can go back and actually read it, I'm not And they're also saying the claim that Nintendo is the one that is the one who ruined the reputation. Okay, Nintendo, even though he's saying all this stuff is offensive, but you are the ones who technically ruined their own reputation, not some YouTuber. The one time you took down the Hedgehog Joy-Con boys on sales, and you took down Pokemon Uranium, which is a very popular fan game during this time, and you took down a Twitch party, so I don't understand. And if they explain about Mumbo Jumbo, about using a lot of this stuff, but then I have to ask this question: why now? Why now? Out of all chances to actually go, you can actually go after Logan. Why now? I explained earlier, he's been through a bunch of controversies, and a lot of it is unreal. Like back in 2017 through 2018, he had to. Really, all of his channel, got fully demonetized and age restricted, so they had to move to a couple new channels. Then we got the GMA situation about them, and we got some cheating drama. Some case of cheating drama. Listen, Nintendo has so many ways to go after Logan, and at times that him using his Nintendo intellectual property might make him look bad, but out of all times, why now? When I basically never heard about it in a year. And now, my thoughts on this whole... So, yes, basically, that's all. So basically, my thoughts on this whole situation, I'm not surprised, actually. I'm not surprised because I actually know this is gonna happen. I know this is gonna happen eventually. Think about it. He does a lot of like controversial content, including especially that Nintendo is very protective with their intellectual property, and they sent all the lawsuits on. I'm not upset or surprised, but honestly, I know this will happen eventually. And I'm just sorry to say this, since Nintendo does sue them for ridiculous reasons, but I'm going to have to side with Nintendo at this point. I'm going to have to side with Nintendo. They have every right to go after him. And you have manipulated kids before, like during like the cheating drama. And even some people use like very gross pictures to minors, by the way, which is completely disgusting. So, I'm gonna say most of that is honestly not your fault, but honestly, now my conclusion for the end of this still, what should happen to all of them? What happened to both Verlisify and Sml? Honestly, I don't care anymore. Think about it. They deserve to lose every single monetization, and plus they both do some pretty shady things to break the community guidelines. They might as well be terminated. I don't support false flagging, but at some point, your guys' karma will eventually catch up with you. Your guys' karma will eventually come and beat you down. And I don't understand why, but even if you are innocent in this whole situation, you guys do not deserve to keep your channel. What you're doing is using vulnerable children, and you even use these children to attack other YouTubers for your sick game. And it's amazing to me that YouTube is gonna allow this to happen. So YouTube, do this a favor and get rid of these toxic individuals and stop all of this before you create even more monsters. Before you create even more monsters.
How about choosing a stage?
Monsters.
The atmosphere of the stage can change.
Before you create even more monsters. Now, look, I'm gonna say it again. Even though if they are innocent, they do not deserve to lose. They do not deserve to keep their channels. And honestly, that's all I'm basically going to say. Well, that's basically what I'm going to say, basically. But so even then, I want to say this, Logan. If you are watching this, I want to do an interview with you. Since I want to know about this whole situation and the cease and desist. So. No, I want to know your situation, and obviously I have enough to talk after that, but obviously I haven't have enough to talk after that, but I understand when the situation, but when you think about it, and think about it, but when you guys, if you guys either attack me or think I'm in the wrong, your karmas will eventually catch up with you. I don't support false flagging, but your karmas will eventually catch up with you at some point. So that will be it for today's video. So yeah, that will be it for today's video. I have pretty much of a sore throat, but yeah, I pretty much have a sore throat, so at this point, you guys to remember to leave a like and subscribe and turn on the... So yeah, my name is Juro Boy, signing off.